Hey everyone, welcome back to Canadian Insights. So you know how sometimes you miss a text message and then find out your friend got engaged, moved to another country, and adopted 3 cats all without you knowing? Well, turns out Premier David Eby just had the political equivalent of that happen, except instead of cats, it's a billion-dollar potash terminal, and instead of a friend, it's a massive corporation that apparently shouted their plans from the rooftops while BC's government was apparently wearing noise-cancelling headphones. Buckle up, because this story has more finger-pointing than a daycare playground, and we're diving into the whole messy saga. Alright, let's set the stage here. Nutrien, which is basically the potash kingpin of North America, decided they wanted to build a shiny new export terminal worth a cool $1 billion. Now, potash is crucial for fertilizer, which means it's crucial for, feeding people. It's kind of a big deal. And when you're moving potash from Saskatchewan to global markets, you need a port. A really good port. So naturally, you'd think British Columbia, with its strategic Pacific Coast location and multiple port options, would be in the running, right? You'd think someone in Victoria would have circled this date on their calendar, maybe set a few reminders, sent a fruit basket to Nutrien headquarters. But here's where it gets spicy. Nutrien announced 6 months ago that they were actively shopping around for port options. 6 months. That's half a year. That's 2 full seasons of your favorite Netflix show. That's enough time to learn a new language or finally understand cryptocurrency. And yet, when Nutrien ultimately chose Longview, Washington over BC ports, Premier Eby's reaction was essentially a political version of surprised Pikachu face. Now, let's talk about Eby's defense strategy, which is basically the geopolitical equivalent of the dog ate my homework, but also my neighbor's dog was involved, and honestly, the mailman should have warned me. On CTV's Question Period, Eby claimed he had absolutely no clue that Nutrien was even considering putting their billion-dollar eggs in the American basket. His exact words were that he had no idea the company would consider putting themselves in the hands of Donald Trump. Which, fair point about Trump being unpredictable, but also, dude, Nutrien literally announced this publicly half a year ago. It's not like they were operating a clandestine potash smuggling operation. They were openly shopping for ports like someone browsing real estate listings on Zillow. The information was out there, just floating around in the public domain, waiting for someone in the BC government to, Google it? But wait, because it gets better. Eby didn't just stop at claiming ignorance. He went full blame game mode, and let me tell you, he cast a wide net. First on his list was Saskatchewan Premier Scott Moe. According to Eby, instead of picking up the phone and having a nice chat about this massive economic opportunity, Moe was too busy talking pipelines with Alberta Premier Danielle Smith. Eby's basically saying, how dare Scott Moe not personally brief me on what a Saskatchewan company is doing? Which is an interesting take, considering Nutrien is a private corporation that makes its own decisions and doesn't exactly need permission slips from provincial premiers. Then Eby turned his attention to the federal Liberal government, expressing his disappointment that Ottawa didn't give him a heads up either. So to recap, we've got provincial blame, federal blame, and if Eby could have found a way to blame municipal governments or maybe the Weather Network, I'm pretty sure he would have thrown them in too. Now here's where Scott Moe enters the chat, and he did not come to play nice. Moe fired back on social media with the political equivalent of actually, this is a you problem. He posted on X, formerly Twitter, basically telling Eby to look in the mirror instead of pointing fingers at everyone else. Moe went on Regina Radio and dropped what might be the most devastating line in this whole saga, saying that when someone makes a decision not to invest in your area, maybe the problem isn't everyone else, maybe it's you. Ouch. That's the kind of burn that requires aloe vera and possibly a PR team. Moe also pointed out something pretty critical. Eby seems to think he can pick and choose which projects land on BC's coast, and surprise, that's not how business decisions work. Companies aren't sitting around waiting for permission from premiers. They're looking at infrastructure, costs, efficiency, and apparently whether anyone in the provincial government is paying attention. Here's the thing that makes this whole situation extra frustrating. BC has literally made port expansion a priority. The government has talked about it, emphasized it, probably made PowerPoint presentations about it. And yet, when a major opportunity literally announced itself 6 months in advance, it somehow flew completely under the radar. It's like announcing you're on a diet and then acting shocked when someone ate the last donut you left on the counter for half a year. The infrastructure challenges Eby mentioned, clogged rail lines and port access issues, these aren't new problems. These are long-standing concerns that everyone in Canadian logistics has been talking about forever. The fact that these issues apparently only became conversation topics after Nutrien chose Washington is like studying for an exam after you've already failed it. And let's talk about the optics here for a second. British Columbia just watched a billion-dollar project choose an American port, putting Canadian potash exports at the mercy of U.S. trade policy and political whims, while Canadian officials allegedly had no idea this was even a possibility. That's not just a missed opportunity, that's a missed opportunity that was advertised, promoted, and practically handed over on a silver platter. The whole situation raises some pretty uncomfortable questions about communication, awareness, and whether anyone in government is actually monitoring what major resource companies are planning. Because if a billion-dollar announcement can happen without anyone noticing for 6 months, what else is being missed? So what's the lesson here? Well, maybe it's that in the high-stakes world of economic development, you can't just assume opportunities will land in your lap. You have to actively pursue them, stay informed, and definitely read the news about major companies in your economic sphere. And maybe, just maybe, when things go wrong, looking in the mirror before pointing fingers everywhere else isn't the worst strategy. Because right now, BC is left explaining how they missed a memo that was apparently printed in billboard-sized letters. If you found this breakdown of Canada's most expensive game of political telephone entertaining, smash that like button and subscribe to Canadian Insights, because we're posting multiple videos daily to keep you in the loop on everything happening in Canadian politics, even the stuff that apparently flies under government radar. Drop a comment below telling me who you think dropped the ball hardest here, and hit that notification bell so you never miss our next upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.